Okay, for the next steps in our leaf length data analysis using Excel, we're going to get some statistics on the averages that you created last time, or the means that you created last time, which were in this column here. But before we do that, we need to take some mean leaf length for the measurements that I did. And so we can start by going here and taking the average of these two, and then you can copy and paste that down here to get the averages or the means. So I guess to be use correct vocabulary, I should change this to mean. I was thrown off because the Excel uses the word averages for mean. So what we're going to do is we're going to analyze the means that we just found, which is all of these values here, the means of the leaf lengths. And so we need to begin by taking the minimum of that data range. And so that's going to be Z2 through Z101. And so if we click on here, we can just double check. So Z2 is correct up there, and then does this go all the way down here? Yeah, it sure does. Okay, so we're going to find the maximum of that, and so that's going to be Z2 through Z101. Find the maximum, and then we can find the range, which is going to be important for what we do next. So that's going to be equal to maximum minus the minimum. Now, we've got the range. And where we're going with this is we want to create a histogram. And in order to create a histogram, we're going to have to create groups or intervals. So what we need to do is we need to think about how many intervals there will be and how big they will be. Generally speaking, with large sets of data, you want to use 20 different classes. And so we'll use that rule of thumb. There's different ways you can approach it, but for generally speaking, if you have large sets of data, you can use 20 classes. So the way we're going to deal with that is we're going to divide the range, which is the minimum to the maximum. We're going to divide it by 20. And that will give us our class size. So our class size is 13.5792. Now, we can then begin creating our intervals. And one thing I'm going to do here is I don't like these things bumping up against each other. So I'm going to insert a column there. And you'll notice that doesn't interrupt anything. All of our numbers stay the same. So it adjusted for us. The minimum value of our bin is going to be, our group is going to be this number here, the 158. So that's the minimum. And then it's going to go from 158 to this class size here. So the next class size will begin at this amount. So we can go equals this plus the class size. And you can see it went up by 13.57 there. So we're going to apply that. Now, how far do we want to go up? Well, once we've gone to 430, there's no more data. So we can copy this. And that did not work, probably because we need to put in some a constant. So if this is equal to this, so we can put in the constant there. And let's see if that helps. Yes, it does. Okay. Now we've gone up to our 4:30, no, not yet. We need a couple more classes. Okay, that's too far. Okay. Now let's make sure this makes sense. So we've got, do we have 20? Okay. So we've got more than that, but that's because we've got the lower boundary and then the upper boundary here. So we're going to use these intervals in the next tutorial to create a histogram. So that's the end of this brief session. Next time you'll be creating a histogram, and then you'll get something that hopefully looks like the normal distribution. So we can take a look at the distribution of the leaf data.